Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and today I'm talking Bryson DeChambeau, and he's had the caddy split. So kind of came out of the blue last event, and Bryson is defending champion. Get to Wednesday, they decide to part ways. It's common for caddies and players to split up. Very strange for it to happen on a Wednesday. So I just thought I would share some of my thoughts. So first things first, Brooks Koepka gets straight in on the action, doesn't he? Straight up on Instagram, trying to show love to his caddy, and I don't think they like each other. I've gone off topic straight away, shock. I don't think Bryson and Brooks like each other particularly. But I do think the feud is a little bit for media. It's a little bit to try and create some traction for the sponsors and everything. So, get your comments down below. Do you think that is the case? That might be worth a video for another day. But anyway, so Bryson, it must be intense being Bryson's caddy, and you know that when you sign up for it. So this isn't a let's slag Bryson off video, but it's got to be intense. You're probably working a 70-hour week. You're definitely doing more hours than the other caddies because the prep is going to be harder because of all the information that Bryson wants, and certainly all the information Bryson is going to want about the course. Bryson tends to practice late, he tends to get there early, and he always seems to want that caddy around him. So, long days, and I think it's just a bit of a pressure cooker. And I think you've got, like, I know you have dog years, I think you have Bryson years. You know, like a day with Bryson, you know, that longer day probably feels like 2 or 3 days, you know. So when you look at Bryson years, if you do a full season with him, it probably feels like you've done 3 seasons. You know, I'm making up the numbers, obviously, because I'm making up a unit of measurement. But I think as a caddy, I think it's got to be intense. And I feel I don't want to use the word needy, but I can't think of a better word. So I think Bryson needs the caddy a lot, and not just on the course but off the course. If you think about like Tiger in his prime, Tiger really intense. You know, being Tiger's caddy is going to be more intense, both the way Tiger is behaving plus how the crowd is. You know, that pressure cooker of the crowd. But I don't think you're working the additional hours. 2 reasons. Tiger's not playing as many events. And second of all, when Tiger got off the course, I don't think he wants you to be there anymore. You know, Tiger's going to go off and do his own thing. You know, he didn't really mix or mingle. I think Tiger would go off and train. I don't think he expected Stevie Williams to be there, you know, handing him dumbbells. I don't think he wanted Stevie per se on the range. You know, so like I said, I think there's just an intensity there. But the Wednesday, then something's happened. And you've got to remember for the caddy, especially if you're Bryson's caddy, because Bryson, you know, I think Bryson does believe his own hype when it comes to how he's doing things differently. And kind of the way I said that it sounds like a big insult when it's not. I think that's what makes Bryson as good a competitor he is, because he really does try and, you know, look under every stone. He does do things differently. I do feel like he works twice as hard as all of the other guys. But when Bryson does well, I think Bryson's taking credit for that. The Wednesday there, after the blowout of the US Open, you know, I'm not saying Bryson's blaming the caddy, but I think there's a little bit of a tension in the air, you know, and I don't know. I wasn't there. You know, it would be interesting if it does come out, but I think that partnership was probably coming to an end. I think long term, I think Bryson will probably have caddies for like a year, 2 years. You need that guy that's very mathematical, analytical in mind, you know, gives the all. You know, you don't look at Bryson's caddy being good for a middle-aged person. You need someone who's young, hungry, you know, got that math background and then can really give 100% with Bryson, live the dream, live the journey with him, and then go your separate ways when you realize actually it's hard to keep up with Bryson's work ethic. But there are my opinions. I think there were some opinions in there. Again, I am very good at just rambling, so maybe that was just a ramble where I said I wasn't going to say anything negative about Bryson, and then very passively aggressively just did it for 5 or 6 minutes. But get those comments down below. How would you want the job? That's the question. If Bryson calls you up and says, I want you to be my caddy, do you think that is a fun job? You know, and again, Bryson is going to make you wealthy. You know, taking a percentage of his winnings is a definite benefit to you. But do you think you would enjoy it? Do you think that would be a dream job, or do you think it would actually be quite intense, quite tough? You know, I'd love to hear what you've got to say. And as always, thank you for watching. Stay happy, stay safe, and I hope to catch you soon.